my top 6 accessories for an AR-15 and a couple bonuses. And in my opinion, I think these are a must-have. Let's go. Hey everybody, it's Bishop here for Tactical POV. Thanks for tuning in, watching my video here, tuning in my channel. But I've got 6 accessories that I feel that are a necessity for an AR-15 to give it an all-around experience for home defense and for tactical shooting, anything drills, whatever you do if you're training. These are the top 6, okay? And I got a couple bonuses on mine that I'm talking about. But first of all, before I get started, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you wanted more tips on product reviews, drills, other things that I do here on my channel as well, and all around performances on different things that I have. Make sure you hit that like button for this too. Also subscribe, as I said, and let's get into this here. I'm not going to drag this thing out, because if you haven't seen the series that I did where I modified my AR here, my Smith & Wesson MP15 AR-15, I did a lot of mods to it outside of it was my back burner project. So it was some things that I've wanted to do to this rifle for a very long time. Just finally pulled it off the back burner and got busy on it. So starting out with a good handguard. Okay, this is an M-LOK style handguard. This is from BCM. This is really nice. I looked around for different handguards, and actually for some odd reason I just love the aesthetic look on this BCM. But getting a handguard now, as far as getting it to your preference as far as length, this one here is a 15-inch. I wanted 15 because I wanted to run this handguard all the way out here. So you can get different lengths, whatever you prefer. I suggest you get one an M-LOK style, because M-LOK was adopted by the military. So that means there's going to be more accessories available in M-LOK style in order to hook onto this. So that's one right there. Okay. Now, 2. Let's move on to the Tacklight. As you see, I went with the Streamlight ProTac HLX 1000 lumen, and this performs awesome. If you've seen that, as I said, I'll leave a link to the description of the video of my series of what I did to this, so you can check out each one of what I mounted on this gun and made this thing super solid. Okay, so that's the second thing that I mounted on here. Now, as we work our way, I also suggest that you get some type of sight, a red dot. This is a Vortex Spark 2. I had this mounted on my shotgun back here a while ago when I bought it, and I said, you know what, let me take this off and I'm going to mount this on my AR and run it. And of course, any red dot, whatever you prefer, Vortex is very good. I'm thinking about also maybe converting this over and getting a Holosun. Holosun is a really good product as well. This works really good. So a red dot is great. Make sure you get some tortoise, but make sure it's not, of course, too big or too bulky, so it doesn't interfere with your sight picture. As I said, if you can get it, as far as when they usually make red dots in really good narrow form, so it doesn't obstruct, it's not in the way, you're not in it too deep or anything, and you get a good red dot. The reticle is very fine, precise, right on point, so it gives you an option to make sure that you can still see at night if you have to, or low light situation. Works really good. So we'll move on to the second and the third here. The third is a buttstock. And I took the stock buttstock off and put a Magpul SLS. And the reason why I wanted this SLS is because the cheek weld is a little bit more vertical. And that's exactly what I wanted. So when I rest my cheek here on the inside of that weld and get a nice good rest in it, I want my head to stay more vertical up and down inside my sights. So either in my iron sights or in my red dot, my head is still in more of a vertical upright position. So it's not canted or anything to where it just basically throws my sight picture off. I want to make sure my head stays straight up with no obstruction. So this cheek weld, which is more vertical design, perfect design. So good grip. Also with the canted tip in for ease of access to mount into the shoulder if you're wearing gear or something, so it doesn't get snagged. So it's pretty nice. Nice little added touch of Magpul put on this. And we'll move on to the trigger. Okay. Now, everybody has their opinion on a trigger, and every trigger is valid. So if you want poundage, light poundage, flat trigger, which type of company, brand, it doesn't matter. Is it effective? I went with the Geisley SSA, the 2-stage, and so it's a 2.5 first. Second stage is 2 pound. The reason why I went with the 2-stage is because under stress, if you ever have to use this for home defense and under stress, I say this all the time about this for carrying concealed. I'd never want my trigger too light. I don't ever want it too light. With the 2-stage, it gives some forgiveness for it. When your nerves are trembling, you don't want an unintentional ND. You do not want to negligently discharge this firearm with a hair trigger on here, especially when the adrenaline's pumping, you're scared to death, and you get into a primal state of fear. Things can get haywire. You know what I mean? You unintentionally do something that you don't want to do, is what I'm trying to say. So with the 2-stage, it is forgiving. Light touch before that 2 pound break. Definitely went with this for more of a safety issue. And the trigger is still crisp. It's light crisp. So can't go wrong with the Geisley 2-stage. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll move on to the iron sights. Now, because if you have a red dot, make sure you have iron sights also, and sight these in as well. So they are good to go at any time, because if you have a malfunction with the red dot, at least this doesn't have a quick detach on it, which I'm looking to get one here down the road. I'm going to mount a quick detach on here for this. You can take this red dot off, and you can still have functioning iron sights, and it still keeps you in the fight, still keeps you involved in this thing. So just because you never trust this, the battery could go dead, the reticle could blank out, this thing could glitch, whatever. Last thing you need is if under a stressful situation, you know, and you need some sights on this thing somehow. So always make sure you have iron sights mounted on this as well. So, excuse me, to keep from dragging this out, I also went with, did I say, what, 6? Because I was going to change the muzzle brake, but that's optional. Now, number 6 would be the charge handle. Now, this charge handle here is custom. I got this at a gun show here locally, and a guy here that made this, but it's an extra wide paddle to where there's no way to miss this charge handle. So there's different ones out there, guys. Like I said, this was custom made here local for me, so I can't give you a link to the descriptions, any of this stuff, certain things like this. So that's another one here that I honestly think is really necessary, and they need to charge this handle, because the stock charge handles, they're not wide, they're not real easy to grip. I mean, it's just, I strongly advise you to get an extended one. That way it's a positive grab for that charge handle. There's no way you can miss this thing. Okay, extend it handle a little bit, but not extend it out too far, so to where it's an actual obstruction. So the couple bonuses though, this bad lever right here. This is, I believe, from Wilson Combat is when I bought this, but I cannot give a link to the description because I think they discontinued this. But no fears, Magpul makes one as well. So, and I'm sure there's other companies out there. I didn't look them up because I bought this years ago and mounted it on here years ago. But this bad lever works just like a slide stop on a semi-automatic handgun. And it's still functional over on the left, but it's also nice to have it here on the trigger finger as well. So once you jack that mag, once that bolt is locked open, slams back, drop that next mag in there, boom, keep it rocking. So this is a nice added bonus, and it's really not expensive at all either. It's actually really, really affordable. I think it's like 30 bucks. I think these things are 30 some bucks, 30, 35, 40 bucks, whatever. So that's one extra bonus too. And of course, a lot of guys, they flip these grips and they basically get your own custom. I love this grip for some odd reason. I got this thing and it was weird because I got it as a clearance, but it's also got a storage compartment. So it's hollowed in here for a storage compartment for something. But this is a grip. for as far as the integrated grip for the fingers. It is absolutely comfortable. Get whatever you want, guys. A mag pull, any of them. There's other ones out there. I don't look them up, you know, this stuff, because like I said, I got this years ago too. Had no desire to look up another one because I fell in love with this grip. So that's it for the video, guys. If you like it, man, I appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up. Make sure, as I said, to subscribe. Check out my new apparel. Everything. I got a new logo apparel and stuff along with this here, this shirt and some other stuff. Check out my store. It helps me out so much, man. It helps me out doing this thing to get a chance to start doing this full time for you. So this is Bishop here for Tactical POV, and I will see you on the next one.